there's a powerful deluding influence interpenetrating grammar schools and middle schools across the United States. It's like a cloud of unknowing. I know, it sounds dubious. It sounds scary. Let's focus in. What is it? How can we identify it? How simple is it to understand it so we can give it a big boot mark on the rump? There's a word that's overused. It's not only overused, it's misused. And that word is benign. Yes, that's a ninth grade word, benign. Sounding. It's benign sounding. But it's malignant in its effect. Let me just cut to the chase. The word is
describe.
Describe? What's wrong with that? Your name is Miss So Flattery. You teach a third grade class, and you survey your class and you say,
Class, come to attention. Now, please, somebody raise your hand and tell me what does an adjective do to a noun?
and little Jimmy's hand shoots up and you say,
Jimmy, tell me.
and Jimmy says,
Mrs. O'Flaherty, an adjective describes a noun.
and you say,
Bingo, Jimmy. Let's all give him a round.
and then 10 minutes later you say,
Class, come to attention. Someone tell me, please, what does an adverb do to a verb?
and little Jimarina raises her hand, and you call on her.
Jim Marina, what do you have for us?
An adverb describes a verb.
Yay, good.
But here's the problem. Description is using the language of the senses to give the reader an experience. What? I know, you got to hear that again. That's my homemade definition for description. Let's slow down a second and look at it. Description is using the language of the senses, see the underline on senses, to give the reader an experience. I underline the letter S because the default position for people thinking about description is sight. But there's smell, touch, taste, and hear. Okay, so using the language of the senses to give the reader an experience. That is description.
Now can you understand why it's so wrong to use it in basic grammar? Do you understand why?
There must be a replacement word. And I know you're all like a man in a desert who has no water. You're thirsting for that word because we know it's not describe. Modify. This is a APB. Imagine me with a bullhorn that's reaching out across the United States. A bulletin to all elementary school teachers everywhere, and middle school teachers and high school teachers. Do not use the word describe in basic grammar. Replace it with
modify.
Do not allow the word describe in any discussion of grammar because it has a deluding influence. It becomes this thing where kids want to just say describe for everything.
It describes.
You're studying the Odyssey. So how is Odysseus dealing with the fact that he has gum in his ears and all of his sailors are blindfolded? Jimmy raises his hand. Now he's a burly varsity student. And he says,
Well, Odysseus is trying to describe what.
No!
It just enters in the brain and makes you dumb. And you're already a dumb jock. All right. You need more information. In order for you to put your boot heel on the word describe in basic grammar, you need to understand more about the word description and how important it is. Did you know it's in a family? Yes, it's in a family. It's called the Patterns of Development family. Most students learn about the patterns of development in AP Language and Comp, which comes way too late in junior year. And they all end with I-O-N. Description, enumeration, exemplification, classification and division, persuasion. Did I say narration? Each one of them has a nice definition. For instance, persuasion, using logic and emotion to convince somebody to action. Narration, telling a story with a beginning and a middle and an end. Enumeration, to list, that is very beneficial for the reader to understand. Exemplification, using examples that cause the essay or the piece of writing to take form and substance. Description, can I hear you all speak it back to me? I know you've memorized it by now. Using the language of the senses to give the reader an experience.
It's not what you do to change a noun. Can you get that through your head right now?